I'm a nurse, working the night shift in the ER. In my year here, I've seen some truly horrendous things, and honestly, I'm surprised I've lasted this long. The sterile air, thick with the scent of antiseptic and fear, seems to cling to your skin even after you've left. Most of the time, it's rewarding, you know? Saving people, seeing that raw relief. But what I'm about to tell you, as unrealistic as it sounds, outweighs all of it. I used to think I was hardened, but a recent event shattered that. It made me question everything I thought I knew about medicine, about reality itself. One of the first bizarre things I saw wasn't scary, not at first. A stout woman, probably in her late 30s, came in complaining of pins and needles, and oddly static inside her. I immediately thought stroke. More experienced doctors rushed in, running checks. Days later, I heard she died. Not from a stroke. She died of organ failure. All her organs were ancient, like a 90-year-old's, inexplicably so. And she had no family. This was the first time I noticed it. None of these strange patients ever have family. They just appear. Then things got truly terrifying. A man stumbled in bleeding profusely from empty eye sockets, but all he cared about was the excruciating pain in his stomach. We tried to stop the torrential bleeding. He was dying, but he was losing his mind, screaming to get it out of him. We restrained him and moved him to a private room. About 45 minutes later, my colleague Anna emerged pale as a ghost. His eyes, they were in his stomach, she whispered, her voice raw. He'd ripped open his own torso, dying instantly. A doctor, morbidly curious, found the man's eyes floating inside him. He had eaten his own eyes. A few nurses quit after that. This patient, too, had no family. I work in a hospital in the middle of nowhere, serving 3 small towns. We get our share of accident victims, but these strange patients are different. They come from absolutely nowhere. Their names don't show up in any database. No obituaries match, and ambulances never bring them in. It's like they literally walked straight out of the dense, whispering forest to get here. Anna told me another disturbing story. I recorded her recounting. It's like 3 a.m. and this woman walks in with an arrow straight through her neck. She's calm, smiling, like nothing's wrong. We rush over, baffled. She doesn't speak, just grins, motionless. She's extremely tall. Then, staring right at me, she just pulls the arrow out of her neck and her neck snaps. She falls, still grinning. No blood. It was like the arrow supported her. Her smile, it was mocking, inhuman, as if she knew exactly how to get under my skin. Last night, on another shift, I quietly asked other nurses and doctors about strange experiences. Their responses were deeply disturbing. Mark, a veteran nurse, asked me, "Ever seen where the bodies go?" I assumed the morgue. Mark has been here since college, mostly on night shifts. He recorded his story for me. I've seen a few of those creepy characters. They're not human, that's for sure. He paused, looking out the break room window. Ever noticed their emotions seem false, like they're pretending?
This one time, a little boy, about 9, walked in. Looked perfectly fine, alone, in the dead of night. I asked if he was lost, where his parents were. He just stared with dead eyes. Mark coughed, visibly shaken. He opens his mouth and a huge river of water just falls out. It keeps coming, covering the floor, spilling into the hole. All the while, he's just emptily staring at me, like a dead fish. When it stops, he collapses and dies. This kid had enough water in him to drown 2 horses. Yet he walked in completely fine, just damp. So we clean him up. I'm about to take him to the morgue, but old Dr. Thompson stops me. He says we send those kind down by themselves. He explained we don't let nurses or doctors be alone with the strange, dead patients, the ones with no name, no trace. I later heard that when the mortuaries open the elevator, all they find is an empty bed. If Mark's story is true, and my gut screams it is, these patients aren't human. But if hospital staff know this, why aren't newer staff informed? If a staff member was harmed being alone with one, why the cover-up? And if bodies disappear, where do they go? Mark mentioned a retired doctor who knows a lot. I got his email and I'm trying to set up an interview. Another nurse, Carol, heard I was documenting these stories. She wanted to add hers. This was my first experience with the patients. Honestly, I thought it would be my last, but I love this job too much. An incredibly old man came in, looked almost 90, but walked like he was 20. He kept repeating, "I'm dying, I'm sick," in a monotone. His vitals were fine. I asked about medication for his mental state, but he kept repeating the phrase. I was losing patience. I told him he was physically fine. He finally stopped speaking, and I noticed he had no eyelids. His eyes were permanently wide open. He suddenly got up and walked backwards out of the ER front doors, never taking his eyes off me, just walked straight into the night. It was demonic. Carol said these patients only appear between 1 a.m. and 3:30 a.m. My own encounters confirm this. Her story also reminded me of an unsettling Christmas shift. An old woman came in complaining of a knee fall, asking me repeatedly to take her to the bathroom. I usually would, but when she smiled sweetly, the hairs on my neck stood up. I felt truly scared. I didn't want to be alone with her, so I made an excuse. As I said I wouldn't take her, I swore her sweet, wrinkled face twisted into a horrific look of pure anger. Wide, bloodshot eyes, a deep, hateful frown. It was fleeting. Her sweet face returned instantly. I was relieved when other staff took over. Anna, who helped her, told me later they took the woman to the bathroom, but when she didn't answer, they opened the door to find it empty. Her sole purpose was to get me alone. I'm glad she never got the chance. I'll update you again soon. I have another night shift tonight. I need answers. I'm okay. First and foremost, I'm okay. Last week was intense, hard to process, but I'm okay. I'm free, or so I tell myself. I left you with me heading to the morgue in the elevator, one of them on a stretcher beside me. I admit I acted impulsively, irrationally. A strange, incomprehensible familiarity overwhelmed me, and I obeyed its unspoken request, the thing masquerading as a patient named Greg. As the doors closed and we descended, panic seized me. I furiously pressed the alarm. What if this thing did to me what happened to Nurse Elaine? I had no reason to trust these monsters, this being in a flesh suit designed to exploit my empathy, expose my vulnerabilities. They had driven Anna to suicide, tormented my friends. It sat up on the stretcher, the sheet still covering its head. It lifted a hand, placing it gently on my wrist. It wasn't Greg's tanned, wrinkled hand. It was pale, purplish white, with no nail fingers. I bit back a shriek. A voice on the intercom asked if I was okay. I stayed silent, staring at the covered figure. Then a crackle. Must have been one of those bastards again. The intercom clicked off. I'm scared, I whispered. But the thing under the sheet didn't react sadistically. It paused, then replied, I know.
Its voice was clear, deep, masculine, with no identifiable accent. It sounded human. All uncanny qualities vanished. The elevator stopped. The doors opened to the morgue. Cold, bleach, and the damp stench of mold. Flickering lights. This place was clearly neglected. Superiors didn't want us down here. I hadn't seen it stand until it walked past me, the sheet like a child's ghost costume. Greg's clothes had vanished, revealing lean, blotched, pale legs. It stopped, turning awkwardly to face me. "Card. I need your card." I was terrified, half-minded to run back to the elevator. But a strange, overriding fearlessness pushed me forward. These things weren't normal. Running might be worse. Facing it felt safer. I pressed my keycard. The morgue door hissed open. Cold air poured out. The being rushed around, tapping name tags on storage trays, huffing in frustration. Its breathing slowed. "Turn around. You don't want to see." I hesitated, but felt no threat. I turned. Bare feet shuffled closer. The sheet was gently placed over my head. I thought of executions, the privilege of not knowing when death comes. "Please don't kill me," I begged, sobbing, facing the wall. It gave a short, abrupt pat on my back. I fell to my knees, regretting everything. Then it swore. It cursed God, like a person. I took off the sheet and turned. I saw it as it actually was. It wasn't Dr. Davies's monster. It was my height, but human. A naked, lean male physique, without any genitalia. No grotesque smile, no jagged teeth. It looked like something just as afraid as I was. Its large black eyes widened in horror as I approached. It scuttled to a shadowed corner. I showed open palms, but its glossy eyes remained transfixed, on edge. "Please don't hurt me," it whispered. But instead of pity, it sparked anger. "Me? Hurt you? You're the one that's hurt us, hurt my friends. You've tormented us for years." I kicked a metal table. It flinched. A scalpel rattled. I lunged, holding it, pointing it. "You drove Anna to suicide. You killed a nurse." "We've never killed anyone," it said coldly. It stood, placing a warm, pale fist against the scalpel. It didn't flinch, but clear, viscous fluid dripped from its palm. Its malnourished, hairless skin and black, pigmentless eyes were clear now. "We will never sink as low as your kind." I froze. "What? Dr. Davies told me what you things did to that nurse." "That doctor is nothing more than a liar. He hides his guilt with the drink." It eyed me, challenging me. I gaped. "How do you know that? How long have you been watching us?" It scuttled back, resuming its search of body tags, ignoring my question. "What is it?" I asked, desperate. It stopped, tapping a single body tray. "What does John Doe mean?" "It means we don't know the identity of the body." It hummed, a high-pitched sound like holding back tears. "I don't know why we do it. I think we just believe everyone should have a name, even if it's not their actual one." It nodded. "It's a shame that not all of you are this kind." It pulled open the tray, metal screeching. I flinched. It gasped, then sobbed. Low whimpers, like a father wailing for his child. I've seen parents cry for dying kids. It's unnatural, terrifying. Curiosity overwhelmed me. I looked into the tray. I stifled a gag. It was a smaller version of the being, a small, hairless humanoid with cloudy white eyes. It had multiple puncture wounds. It was mummified, grayed and darkened, as if life had been wrung dry. I'm sorry, I managed. It continued to wail. It reached into the tray, cradling the small corpse. They had a name, not in your language, but they had one, it said. I nodded. We have been waiting for this, for confirmation. I don't understand. It shook its head, wiping tears. You have been plaguing our kind for decades. We are always youthful, but you are not. Human beings have always wanted to be youthful. Immortality is not as pleasing as it sounds. It sat down, nesting the corpse. I shrunk to the floor. This was it, the truth. It's a superficial desire, it said, stroking the corpse's head, to try to stay youthful, to steal the qualities of other kinds to fulfill that desire. Beauty is fleeting, and to pump your kind's own skin with it, we simply wanted to scare you enough to make sure you wouldn't keep coming back to hunt us. The morgue door slammed open. Men in unmarked gear burst in, guns ready. They shouted. I put my hands up, begging the being to do the same. But it smirked. Confirmation clouded its eyes. It knew. It shot me a final glance, lipless mouth curled, and whispered, "This is the true nature of your kind." It didn't move. Gunshots plastered its torso and face. I shook. Viscous fluid dripped. Its face caved in. It slumped back against the trays. Its arms went limp, but its child's body was laid gently in its lap. Everything after that is a blur. It's been over a week. I was escorted out by police, signed a form unread. I can't get his face out of my mind. He wasn't scared. He was happy. He was right, reunited with his child. Mark keeps calling, asking where I am, why I haven't come back to work. I don't have the heart to tell him. Ignorance is bliss. I've been wondering how many others of his kind are still there in the morgue. How many would come to collect their kin? How many of us would engage in psychological warfare if our loved ones were used for nefarious medical practices? My mind wanders to mankind's war crimes. I'm checking myself into a psychiatric ward. I need to be alone, cared for. I never thought my career as an ER nurse would turn out this way. Maybe I was naive. Nothing prepares you for the horrors of humanity's actions, especially when faced with a being who shows themselves to be just as human as you are. The monsters, I've realized, are not them. The monsters are us, and we are legion.